Welcome home, horror fans. My name's Adam.
And I'm Zoe.
And this is our Final Destination Bloodlines spoiler-free review.
14 years ago was the last time we had a Final Destination film release in cinemas. Until now, we just got back from seeing Final Destination 6, Bloodlines, at the movies, and we have a lot to say about it.
We're going to go through and break this down. So we're going to start with the plot, what we thought of that, give a brief overview, go through the kills without spoiling them, again, just our thoughts on what they did, and a couple of other bits and pieces. So just follow along. This is a very highly anticipated movie, obviously, for us. Our regular fans will know that.
Yeah.
And we do have some thoughts. So
well, yeah, this is, I grew up with Final Destination. It was a big franchise for me when I was a kid. And I remember we were all promised Final Destination 6 for many years. It's been a long time coming, so to finally see it in the cinema, it was a surreal experience.
It was. So, starting with the plot, the film opens in the 1960s, where one of our main characters, Iris, has a premonition of a tower collapse disaster in which everybody in that tower pretty much dies.
And of course, as we know with Final Destination films, she ends up saving everyone from this terrible fate of a tower collapse. But at what cost?
Exactly, yes. And of course, just like in normal Final Destination ways, Death has a debt to be paid and does chase down everybody that she saved that night.
And what I find to be really interesting about this plot is it plays with the idea that Death has a real hard time catching up to all these people because there was a lot of people in this tower
There's
collapse.
a lot of people in this tower collapse, so it ends up taking Death decades of time to catch up and actually finally take care of all these deaths that it needs to take out. So it's a very interesting storyline, very different to our normal Final Destination because normally they only last maybe a couple of weeks.
Oh, it's extremely different because it adds a lot of, I guess, ideas that none of us really thought about because we all just like watching people die. But key plot points, I guess, of, okay, well, if Death is taking decades to track down its people that it is reaping, what if those people have families?
Yeah.
What happens with their lives? You know, because those families, they're not meant to be there if this person was supposed to die. So it's an interesting story. We then get to meet a whole bunch of different characters very later
Jumping
in
through
the
to modern day.
Yeah, in modern day.
We see all of her descendants, and of course, this is where the storyline or the tagline of the film, Bloodlines, comes into it, being that her bloodline is now targeted by Death. All of a sudden, they all start to die one by one.
Yeah.
So, relatively straightforward in one sense. It does open some questions. Why is Death taking so long?
Yeah.
How is Death making these decisions? In what order? And all that sort of stuff. So, I think it does a good thing in complicating the story a bit more than just a classic Final Destination way.
It tries to add substance to the story, which, you know, Final Destination is a very rinse and repeat film.
It's
and of course,
very clear format.
well, yeah, it's a clear format, and they try and add things here and there, like new life cheats death, and taking a life gives you those years, and, you know, there are those things that you try and add to complicate the story a little more and keep us engaged. This tries to do something different, which I appreciate, but it makes the formula to me of Final Destination feel a bit like, well, I wanted to see a Final Destination movie.
You thought it was a bit off because it was so different to what you were used to.
It's very different, and it doesn't really waste any time on those classic Final Destination tropes that we see, like setting up what's happening to the other characters, giving them this idea of Death coming after them. It's kind of like it's mentioned once, and then they all know, and it's fine. Very rushy.
It did, let's say, not explain as much as a normal Final Destination film. It does take an understanding that we all know this plot device quite well. It does skip a lot of the explanation of what's happening. It jumps straight into, hey, Death's killing us all. Let's not explain why. We do know the franchise pretty well at this point, so if you need more explaining than that, I suppose.
As an audience and as someone who's up to Final Destination 6 and is seeing it, you'd expect that we'd all know the format. It just, I don't know, it just took away from that nostalgia for me, I think.
Yep.
And yeah, that's kind of what I struggled with personally.
Yes, it definitely feels a bit different. I know you were a little bit harsh on some of those changes. I did appreciate them at the same time.
Before I continue to say my thoughts on this film, it is Gore City. Like it's
very gory.
It's very gory. It's very fun. Maybe a little too fun, but very gory. So if you're going to this film and you're expecting gory, out there, insane kills, you are gonna get that.
Yeah,
that's exactly what they give you.
But it is almost like a comedy horror. I want to call this film probably comedy horror in terms of genre, because some of the things that happen in these kills are definitely funny and definitely for comedy effect, for sure.
People just dying in ways that even death would have a hard time. Even death would have a hard time rigging up.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people being squashed. There's a lot of people being sort of folded into particular angles. There's a lot of people having things go right through them.
Yeah.
Kind of losing their head.
Yeah.
A lot of splattering going on.
If I say anything positive, it'll be that the deaths in the premonition at the start in the tower collapse itself, they were fun. Yeah.
We did, of course, have Tony Todd back.
Now, this was one of my favorite moments in the movie.
Famously, Tony Todd is a very big part of the franchise. One of the few characters actually be in multiple Final Destination films. Great to see Bloodworth back. And we get to see some very cool things from Bloodworth. We actually learn more than ever from his character. We get his backstory / origin story told to us, which is amazing. And just to see Tony Todd, it's almost an emotional thing to be able to see him.
It was emotional. And look, the scene is brief, but to get as much information about him as we did in that scene, it just felt so powerful, especially given the circumstances of Tony Todd no longer being with us. But it's very amazing and fun to be a Final Destination fan and to have a movie come out after so long and to finally have answers onto who William Bloodworth was.
For me, it was just fantastic to be able to get Tony Todd to come back one last time before he passed. Is just such a gift to us, and it's so great to say goodbye to the character. So great to really get information that we've wanted for 20 years.
I know, right?
on this character as well. Like, it's probably like the greatest thing that we could say about this film, to be able to get that. Like, you rarely get these fan servicey moments, and it's worth the price of admission.
100%,
Seeing him was fantastic, and word is that he was also given a bit of a carte blanche on his words. He was actually allowed to improvise with what he said.
We did read that, and they kind of gave him free rein as to what was said in the scene, and it feels so much more powerful when you hear that, especially given what's spoken in that scene. So it's definitely worth seeing.
Tony gave his own little sort of goodbye to the audience, which was fantastic. So that was just amazing, and there's nothing to complain about that. There never could be. Outside of that, I guess, as a whole with the film, it's a bit of a mixed bag, I want to say. I think I had more fun with this movie than you did.
You definitely did. You probably went in with more of an open mind than I did, because I think I'd kind of made up my mind after seeing the posters and the trailer.
Possibly. If I had to put you on the spot and ask for a star rating right now, what would you give it?
Oh, it's pretty bad.
It's
pretty bad. Like, I sat there with Adam at the end of this film and I said, this film feels to me like Happy Death Day mixed with, not Happy Death Day, it feels like Hard Eyes mixed with Until Dawn. It just like the kills and the comedy of Hard Eyes, and then the shitness of Until Dawn and the way it looks. That's this film. And for me, that I can't give that over a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay, that's better than I thought you might have said.
I would probably say lower, but putting me on the spot now, I couldn't say it's over,
I think you might give it a bit more leeway once you watch it again, just going in expecting something and getting something different.
I disagree. I don't think I could sit there and watch those characters and ever feel fulfilled.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to go higher. I'm going to say more like a 3.5 for myself. I definitely went in open-minded, and I enjoyed a lot of the humor in it, and I enjoyed the kills, even though, yes, CGI is not great. Practical effects everywhere, whenever we can get them. And it was very different. I agree that the plot itself was very, let's say, lackluster. The idea of the bloodline needing to be killed off, the idea of the tower collapse at the start was cool enough, but I think after that, nothing happened.
Yeah.
It was just basically them all getting killed, which is pretty normal, obviously, but there was really nothing to it. It didn't go anywhere.
Right,
there was no payoff.
The story doesn't advance in any way.
The ending has absolutely nothing. There is no... the ending of this film, it will end and you will just go, that's weird. That was the end.
Yeah, it doesn't advance in any way. They find out they're all dying and they get no further than that. It just, that's it.
I mean, like every Final Destination, they try and survive.
Yeah.
But there really is nothing that really happens. I feel like
there's definitely more of an effort from past Final Destination characters to survive and find out more.
They seem smarter.
Yeah, they seem smarter about it. Whereas this is just, I mean, it all happens so quickly as well.
Yeah. The ending feels just very, almost anticlimactic. I know they tried to do something, but it just kind of felt
and also
thrown together.
Very CGI again, which like when you've watched a film where every kill, every premonition, every vision, every scene has some form of CGI, and then to end it with another big CGI moment. That's all I'll say. It's just like so hard on the eyes. It's so bad.
Well,
anyways,
I know Zoe's just shit all over your dreams with this film, but
it's shat on mine.
I am more than happy to suggest this movie that if you're looking to go see it, 100% go and see it. I think you'll actually have a fun time. Not everybody will love it, as exampled here, but I do think that you'll have an enjoyable time regardless. It's a film worth watching, I think, for sure.
As a Final Destination fan, it is worth watching.
Yes, thank you.
But I can't guarantee it's going to make the rounds when you rewatch Final Destination. Because for me, it ends at 5.
Wow. Big call, big call. Anyway, let us know what you guys think. If you've seen the movie, let us know. And if you're going to go see it in the pictures, let us know down below as per usual. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.
See you next time, guys.
Game over.